Okay, on this video, what I'm gonna show you is how to graph equations using the y equals mx plus b form. That is the slope-intercept form, and the reason why this is called the slope-intercept form, because within the equation you should be able to find the slope. This is the slope, and this is the y-intercept. So that's why they call it slope-intercept form. Remember, if you have any question, if you have any letters from the beginning of the alphabet, you need numbers in there. So there's a number here and there's a number here. If there's any variables at any letters that from the end of the alphabet, those are variables. So you don't need a number here. You're always going to see y and x. And if you look at the examples, uh, y and x will always be here. But instead of m and b, I'm going to have numbers in its taking its place. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to graph these equations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a large graph and all the equations will be graphed on that graph. Okay. So this is my y and this is my x. Let me change them. Okay. I need to change it because I don't want broken lines. This should be solid lines. Okay. So this is my y-axis. This is my x-axis. So this will be x and this will be y. The easy way what I recommend is you're gonna do the following. Right underneath, I'm gonna write y is equal to mx plus b. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna compare this equation to that equation. They're very, very similar. When you use this equation, the number one is you gotta make sure that y is by itself. The y should be by itself. If it's not by itself, you get it by itself. Okay. So you gotta make sure that y is by itself. And the number that's right next to the x is your m. So in this particular problem, b will be my m. My m will be negative 3/5. So that's the m is negative 3/5. My b, this is my b value. So my b value will be 3. Okay. Now very, very important, m is the slope. And definition of slope is rise over run. And basically what that tells you is that m should be a fraction. If it's not a fraction, you make it a fraction. The right is gonna move you up or down. If it's positive, you go up. If it's negative, you go down. If it's zero, you stay here. The run moves you sideways. Positive, you go to the right. If the number is negative, you go to the left. If the number is zero, you stay in there. So this particular problem, first to the b, intersection of y is equal to 3. So in here, somewhere in 5, you need to find 3. 3 will be right here, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's B. Now do the rise over run. My M is negative 3 over 5. Now when there's a negative, if you notice the negative is in the middle, is not in either place. So when that happens, you can pick what if you want on top or the bottom, doesn't matter, you get the same answer. Let me put them on top. So my rise is negative 3. From here, my rise is negative 3 because it's negative. You go down 1, 2, 3, and my run is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to do it again, 1, 2, 3, rise negative 3, and run is positive 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now draw a line between them, and that'll be my answer. Okay, if I connect these points, these will be my graph. That is the answer, and this should be right about. The point is not in the right place. That should be right about there. So that's my equation. So the name of this line is y is equal to negative 3/5 x plus 3. So this is the name of the line. And you don't have to do this in the homework. The only reason why I'm doing that is because I'm putting more than one line on the graph, okay? Yeah, you can put more than one line on the graph, but you need to label them so I know what's what. Okay, so the equation of this line is that graph. If you notice, it's very, very, very fast and easy to draw. Find the M and the B, and then I use that information to graph them. Equation number two, right underneath, I'm gonna write Y is equal to mx plus b. So this tells me this is the b value. Now the number that you see right here, that is my m value. Okay. So in this problem, my b is 5, my y-intercept is 5, and what is the m? What number do you see here? Okay. Let's see, 1 got multiplied by x, and that the answer was, I'm sorry, something got multiplied by x, and I got the same answer. That should mean m is 1, but the m should be a fraction, so make that a fraction, so you're going to put a 1 over 1. This will be my rise, and this value will be the run. So first, y-intercept is 5, go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the reason why it went up is because it's positive. Now my rise is positive 1, so go up 1, and my run is positive 1. Rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1. Connect those points, and that be your graph. So the name of this equation will be, I'm gonna put right here, this is the name of the equation. Okay, the only reason why I'm doing this is because I'm graphing more than one equation on the same coordinate plane, so I put the name so I know what line to switch. Now, the last example that I have for you is I need to graph this equation, and like before it, right underneath, I'm gonna write y is equal to 1/4 x multiplied by plus b. So what that tells me is this is my b value, and the number that's, I'm sorry, I missed it right here. This should be mx. So the number that's right next to the x, that is your m. This is my m value. So to do the graph, my m is 1/4, or the slope is 1/4. 1 is the rise, and 4 is the run. And the b value is the number. What number do you see here? I don't see nothing, and nothing, the number for nothing is 0. B is 0. So when you graph, do the b first, then do the m, do the y-intercept, then the slope. So my slope is, my y-intercept is 0. In here, find 0. 0 will be right about here. There you have it, y-intercept is 0. And my rise is positive 1, so I'm going to go up 1. And my run is positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, rise 1, and 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason why it's to the right is because it's positive. Connect those points, and that'll be the graph. So the equation of this line will be the equation of this line will be, that's the equation. So make this smaller, and then turn around. So that is equation y is equal to 1/4 x. Okay. So that's how you graph them if they are in slope-intercept form. Now, what happens if they're not in slope-intercept form? Let me just give you an example. Now, in this equation, right underneath the equation, I'm going to write y is equal to mx plus b. Now, in this equation, nothing lines up, so basically and the problem is the y is not by itself. So I can use this equation right now because the y is not by itself, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I need to get the y by itself. So step number one, eliminate parentheses fractions. So decimals, there is none of them. So we're done. Number two is combine like terms. These two cannot be combined. The reason is because they're different. This one cannot be combined because it's by itself. Step number three is separate y and everything else. I want all my y's over here, and that's because the y is already on this side. On the other side, I want constants. That means numbers only, and y's. I'm sorry, and x's. So I need y's over here. He doesn't have a y, so get rid of it. I'm going to do minus 5x. When you do it to one side, you do it to the other side, minus 5x. These will cancel, so the answer will be 4y is equal to 4 minus 5x. Now y's over here. That's right, constants and number and x's. These are constants and x's. The last step, get the y by itself. Divide by 4. Weight it to one side, do it to the other. Divide the right side by 4. Everything by 4. These will cancel, so you have y is equal to 1. Can 4 go into 5 evenly? The answer is no, so the answer is 5 fourths, 5 fourths, and then the x right here. Now, if you want to change the order, if you want to change the order of the x and intercepts, or keep it this way, okay? The m is whatever numbers next to the x. The numbers right next to the x is, this is your m, negative 5 fourths. So m is equal to negative 5 fourths. Now the negative is in the middle. You can pick the top or the bottom. Doesn't matter. What I recommend is, let's put them in the bottom right now. Doesn't matter. So your rise will be will be 5, and the value of your run is negative 4. Now the b value is a number that's all by itself. The number is all by itself is, that is your b value. So b value is equal to 1. So there are problems where they don't give the y by itself already. If they don't give it to you, you get it all by itself. Now, once you get it by itself, whatever's next to the x is your m, and whatever is all by itself, no x, no y, that is your y-intercept. So now to graph this, my y-intercept is 1. Go to y equal to 1. That'll be right about here. Now my rise is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my run is negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now draw a line between those 2 points, and that'll be your answer. So I'm gonna connect this with that, and that is my answer. Okay. So basically, with the equation they give you, so for y, and then you should be able to do the graph. Let's put the name of that equation. The name of the equation will be 5x plus 4y equal to 4. Okay, and that's it. Okay. Now, there are some cases where you cannot solve for y and how you do that. Okay, let me give an example how to solve, how to graph for the equation if you cannot solve for y. Now, to show that, I need a new graph. It's getting kind of crowded. Let me do another graph. And let's say they gave us the equation x is equal to 5. So I need to graph x is equal to 5. So x is equal to 5. So I need to solve that equation. I need to graph it. So let me make it bigger. 5 or 4, doesn't matter. Let me change this to 5. X equal to 5. Now I need to graph that, and the way you're gonna graph it, right underneath, I want you to write the equation y is equal to mx plus b. Now when you use this equation, you have to make sure that y is by itself. If it's not by itself, you get it by itself. Now we have a little problem. There is no y in here. There is no y. So if there is no y, there is no m, and there is no y-intercept. So what this means, m d and e, that means does not exist. The b value, the y-intercept, same thing, does not exist. Don't say the answer is 0 because 0 is a number. That means that exists. Does not exist. Okay? So how am I going to graph this? Okay, if I put in my y-axis and then I put in the x-axis. Now, if the y-intercept does not exist, that means that the line that I draw, will never, never, never cross the y-axis. Okay, so if this is my x and this is my y, the line that I draw would never, never cross the y-axis. So this line crosses the y-axis. So basically, if I move this till it never crosses the y-axis, some people might say, well, okay, right here it's not crossing, but remember the arrow at the end means it goes on forever. So sooner or later, this line and this line are gonna cross. Okay. If you want them to never cross, they should be parallel. Okay. Remember, parallel lines never, never intersect. Now I know that the line looks like this, but where exactly is that line? Where am I gonna put it? Okay. Forget this right here. That line is at x equal to 5. So you're gonna move it to x equal to 5 and have your graph. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the following. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is your graph. Okay. So there are some problems where you cannot solve for y. If you cannot solve for y, that means you have a line that is parallel to the y-axis. Okay, and the reason is because the slope does not exist, the y-intercept does not exist. So y-intercept means the line never, never, never crosses the y-axis. So this line crosses the y-axis, and this tells you it should be at x equal to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's right here. Okay. Hopefully this will help you. Thank you.